Hey, what's up, phone lovers? Welcome to the Mobile Roar podcast for the week of March 3rd, 2016. I am Joe Fedewa.
I'm Chris Chavez.
And I'm Ashley King.
All right, we are back. What the heck's going on with you, Chris? At first, you were talking and I couldn't hear anything. I thought, were you trolling us?
Yeah.
All that. All right, so yeah, Mobile World Congress was last week. That's why we didn't have an episode. Chris was in Barcelona, knee deep in phones.
Elbows deep in phones.
You were just
man.
sloshing around.
There were so many
phones.
this year. Oh shoot!
Look, this
Speaking
phone is
of
going off right
phones.
now. I mean, you can't escape.
Everywhere I go.
Yeah. Also, what was funny? So we've had like 2 weeks since the podcast, and in our last podcast, we found out that our email address wasn't working, and so we gave out a new one. And on that day and like the next day, received so many emails.
Oh my God, there's like 10 or 11 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
So really glad that that's working again.
We have listeners. That's great.
Yeah. They're back. Yeah.
They're back.
So stay tuned to the end of the episode. We'll go through all those. We got a bunch of tweets too, actually. So we have a bunch of listener stuff to go over.
Awesome.
Yeah. But of course, we'll start the show off with Mobile World Congress, and we'll just go through chronological order, pretty much, of when these devices were announced. So the first big phone was the LG G5 and Friends. Can't forget about the Friends.
And its friends. And friends.
This phone, like, man, when I first saw this phone, Monday morning, I think it was, I was like super hype about it because it looks so much better than the like leaks and stuff.
Yeah. It looked great.
Yeah.
I think
Still
so.
I don't care for the way it looks.
Yeah, see, some people just really don't like it. It
Yeah.
kind of looks like the bigger brother to like the Nexus 5X, honestly.
Yeah, it's like a
Very
Nexus
similar.
5X and a Nexus 6P got together.
Yeah, and it had this wonderful, weird little baby thing.
So you played with it. What were your thoughts on it?
My thoughts were that it felt really cheap. It didn't feel solid. It was really light. The aluminum, I don't know why, but the aluminum just feels thin. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a thick, heavy aluminum like when you tap on it, like on the Nexus 6P or like the iPhone. It just feels very. It's like there's a thin, like they wrapped it in like some kind of aluminum foil or something. But
Do you think it doesn't feel solid because like a big part of it can slide in and out?
No, that part was actually pretty dang solid. Even in my video, I almost like broke. I feel like I almost broke it trying to get that sucker out of there. But that part is very, very solid. To me, it was just the the display itself. It wasn't 2.5D, which kind of bothers me. Like all these phones now have like these 2.5D displays where like the edges kind of like roll over. We saw it in the Moto X Pure. The iPhone 6 has it. The Galaxy S7 has it. Like we see a lot of phones that have that now. There's a bunch, even I think like some Alcatel phone or something. All these cheap phones are even doing it, and I love it because the way your finger just glides over the edges feels great.
Yeah.
So that felt a little bit cheap, but not so much that. But like when you held the phone kind of far away and you looked at it, the display glass was like rippling along the sides. It was very odd, and then the glass kind of curves at the top. It like curves over. It has like a slight little curve to it at the very top, and I don't know. It felt kind of very, very cheap. I mean that's kind of what LG does, but at the same time it was a little bit premium. But the display looked great. The display looked fantastic, and the performance was absolutely insane. I think that was what I walked away with, the big takeaway. But
What do you think about the little Friends accessories and the whole sliding in and out?
I
type thing?
loved everything that LG did with the Friends. To me, I think that was probably like better than the phone itself. Their 360 cam I think is awesome. I think I forget what they call it, but the LG 360 cam probably. That was cool. That was one of their friends. The little parts that you plug into it, I guess those are the friends too. The little removable battery, which was very difficult to remove. I have a feeling this is going to bite them in the ass though, because like the battery component, when you slide it out and it's attached to like the bottom bezel, and there's just the battery part. There's like a clip that you have to yank the battery out, and I feel like someone's going to snap it the wrong way.
I was gonna say, when I saw it, it looked like an easy way to break a phone unintentionally.
Yes. And where are you going to find a replacement bottom little thing? I mean, they should probably bundle an extra one in there in case you do break it. Because there was already one I saw where somebody was like, they tried to bend it off or something, because it was like, the battery was hanging like in a weird angle, and I was like, oh, that's not good. And even when I was trying to remove it myself, I felt like I was about to like break that thing. You know, hands are shaking.
You really struggled with it in that video. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean it's on there pretty solid. I don't know. I just don't know why the battery just doesn't like just slide right out and that's it. But that part, those parts were cool. The camera little function was interesting. It could be neat if you're gonna, you're planning on going on a trip. They had the LG Cam Plus, which was like 1,000 milliamp hour battery and physical controls for the camera. I thought that was kind of neat. Adds a little bit of bulk, but it's also like a grip for your hand to make holding the phone easier.
Yeah, I thought that looked pretty cool.
But the other friends, the 360 cam, I thought was way better than Samsung's. Way better.
Really?
Because people will actually use. You could take it on a roller coaster. You'll take it on a trip. You'll take it. The little ball, you can't even put that in. Like, where are you gonna put a Pokeball? You'd have to have.
Oh,
like,
you're just talking about like the actual physical size.
Yes, the physical size. I think
the video
Samsung's camera is probably
quality
better. Yeah.
does not look very good compared to Samsung.
The LG's is basically the Ricoh Theta, which we saw at CES like a couple of years back. It's literally almost the exact same thing. It's just with the LG's name on it. But I think it's better. I think that one's better just because, I mean, the quality on the tops, like when you look around, in the front and back will look great, but like the side angles will look a little bit distorted and kind of odd and weird. But I just think it's way more better because you could put it in your pocket. You'll take it on hiking trips. You'll take it wherever you go. You're not going to carry around this 360 Samsung ball with you.
I mean, we'll talk more about the 360 ball later, but it's really not that big though.
It's big enough. It's round, so it's big enough that you can't put it in a pocket. You'll look silly. It's like trying to carry.
Maybe not your pockets.
A tennis ball. Yeah. There's no way it'll fit in my pocket. And there goes the fun again. The other thing I liked was the VR little glasses that they had.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that thing. Yeah, that was weird because it's not like one of those where you put a phone in the thing. It's like your phone is connected via cable, and then you put the phone in your pocket or whatever, and then you have like just the glasses part with the display. Did you try that out? Awesome. Like, was it working?
Yes, and it worked freaking great. I thought it worked really, really well. I saw a Verge article where they talked about how they didn't like it because it wasn't as immersive, but because, I mean, light comes through on the bottoms, and when you look down, you can still see the world, which I actually kind of liked. I don't know if I really like this whole strapping these giant goggles to your head and straps that go over the top.
Just tuning the world out, yeah.
Yeah, like that feels too. I mean, I get nervous when I'm in the shower and I'm just like shampooing my hair and my eyes are closed because I think there's like some mass murder about to like, like I freak out. So like when I try the Gear VR, we have some here now. It's weird because I'm constantly pulling it off and looking around, like make sure no one's sneaking up on me or something. But I liked it, and it was super light. It just goes over the ears like a pair of glasses, and it worked really well. And it just, a little cord just goes straight to your phone. I thought that was like the best implementation of VR I think I've seen ever. It was great, fantastic.
Yeah, I thought the like plugging in your phone thing actually was a pretty good idea, because one thing that I find annoying with cardboard that I have, and the Gear VR is the same way because the phone's in it, like whenever you want to change like what you're viewing, you have to kind of like take your phone out and like mess around with it. I think you can control it better with the Gear VR, but with cardboard you can't really do anything. You just have to like take your phone out, swipe around, get to the thing you want to look at, and then put it back in.
I mean, not only that, but like, okay, and then as from a hygiene perspective, the LG one, it's just like I don't know. It's like two little pieces of like this very light like leather just kind of touching your face, just like little sheets coming at you like that. Whereas like the Gear VR, you have this pad that wraps around your face and it's rubbing your oils, and then I have to give it to my dirty friend who's rubbing all of his face, and then straps going like it just seems so invasive and annoying. I think LG's way is way better. I loved it, and I mean, just for anything. I mean, if I was just gonna watch a movie or something, I'd be more inclined to casually put on some glasses, than take out the stupid Gear VR and have to like strap it all over my body. It's just.
I think they're two very different like approaches.
Yes.
Because the Gear VR is definitely going to be more immersive.
Yeah, it's meant to be immersive. Where I think LG was going for just like the experience of viewing like a movie screen instead of it being around you.
It was cool, and I feel like this is the way to go, at least initially for VR. Whereas like people can, like regular folks will see it and be like, oh, I'll put these little glasses on. Oh, that's neat. Like my grandma or my mom or someone. Whereas I can't like get hey grandma, hold on, I'm gonna strap this big old thing to your face. What are you doing to me? Strap it on you, like it's just it'd probably break her neck or something. They're so heavy too, like the weight of them, and it's just I like LG's way. That's just me personally.
So, speaking of the VR headsets, talk about being at Samsung's event where everyone had a VR headset. And then Zuckerberg came out.
Awesome. That was crazy. I mean, we walked in and there's this giant black cube in this like middle of like an auditorium, and it was very crazy because you're like, what's in the cube? What are they gonna do? This is nuts. And at every seat they have Gear VRs hooked up, and we're just like, this is absolutely nuts. I mean, and this is huge. There's like thousands of seats, and every single one of them had a Gear VR, and at some point, Samsung's like, oh, please put on your Samsung Gear VR. And you put it on, or you're watching some of the announcement, and nobody even knew, but, like, I didn't know. I thought he was already on the stage, maybe popped up out of the floor or something. But Mark freaking Facebook Zuckerberg comes walking down, and nobody even realizes it because we all have these fully immersive Gear VR. If you had an LG one, though, you would have noticed. You would have seen his little feet.
I have to say, it looked like, I mean, everyone made the comparisons to Wall-E, but like everyone sitting in that room with the VR headsets on was so, I didn't even know the word for it. It was weird.
I think with Facebook's marketing dollars and Samsung together, I think they should open up little pop-up theaters where they just have recliners and Gear VRs, and you watch like the latest Star Wars with your Gear VR, and you're just chilling there. I think that would be a really cool like marketing thing. But it was crazy. It was fun. That was a really fun event. I mean, Samsung has so much money. And then every Gear VR, because it has to be powered by a phone, I popped open the front and they had like Note 5s in every single one of them. So they had a lot of inventory. I
mean, Samsung is a pretty massive company there.
Yeah. It's so crazy. And at the end of the show, they had like an Oprah moment where it's like, oh, check under your seats. And by this time, I'm like almost half of the people that were in there had already left. So they were like, check under your seats. And we're like, okay, there's this box that says do not touch, big old bold white letters. And I guess you're supposed to touch it. And then they gave everybody the Gear VR, which was cool.
So if other people left, did you like snatch up the ones under their seats?
Yes, I did.
How many do you have?
I only grabbed 2. So
yeah,
Rob
I was gonna say they're
one.
kind of big.
The boxes are large, so I'm trying to shove them like in my backpack, and my backpack's like bulging with all my stuff. I'm trying to like take out some things, so I'm like, oh my gosh! And like as you're running, because they opened up the curtain to test out the phone, so I already like had booked it. I didn't even know. I left mine, and then Rob, I was like, where the heck is Rob? And I go back, he's like, dude, look, under the seats, there's Gear VR. So I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, I almost missed this. I would have missed it. I would have ran over and played with the dang Galaxy S7 before, and I didn't even realize it. But, so that's when I realized there were so many people left them under their seats. And I initially, when we had sat down, we went into the auditorium to sit down, I had looked under the seats, and it said, do not touch this big old black box. I thought it was like some kind of computer components for the Gear VR. I don't know. I thought it was something else because it said do not touch. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to touch it. But I guess they really did want you to touch it. They just wanted you to wait or something. They could have just put a black box, but
do not open until.
Yes, do not open until like the end of the show or something. That would have been cool. You'd be like, oh, all right, but.
All right. So yeah, that was the event. Let's talk about the actual phone itself.
The Galaxy S7.
Yes.
I love it. I think it's the best phone ever. But of course, I say that every time until I play with it.
You say that about every phone when it comes out because you go through this honeymoon period where you love it.
He's not saying it about the G5.
That's true. Fair. That is true. I mean, and that sort of happened last year with the G4 as well. I didn't like it and then I ended up going back to it many, many months later, and I was like, oh, the G4 is pretty awesome until I had those weird touchscreen issues. But the Galaxy 7, it's great. Like, what doesn't it do? It does everything. It's like a mishmash of the Galaxy S5 and S6 put together. Water resistance, micro SD card, giant battery. Well, a nice size battery.
3,000 milliamp, right?
Which is the same size as. I mean, that's almost the reason why I was going to buy a like S6 Edge Plus spec last year, was just because I wanted a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. And this has it stock. There you go. What's the battery life on that thing, by the way?
It's not like amazing.
Decent though.
Yeah.
And it's got to be better than the S6 regular, the little tiny ones, because those had 2,500 milliamp hour batteries. So I'm expecting good things for battery life on the S7, and that was just a really big complaint people had with the S6. So
well, that's the thing with the S6 or the S7 announcement. I mean, it was kind of boring compared to the G5, but boring in a good way because they just they fixed everything that people complained about with the S6.
Yeah.
It wasn't terribly exciting, but it's just like it seems like a really well polished phone. They did everything that people were asking them to do. Like the thing that actually really impressed me, and I'm usually pretty hard on Samsung, but they actually made it a little thicker, which allowed them to put more battery in, and the camera hump is not as severe now. Like, thank you so much.
I couldn't believe it. Because for some reason, Samsung every year they have competed with Apple with that stupid thinness metric. I don't know why they insist on doing that, but Apple makes their phone thin, and then Samsung tries to make it either exactly as thin or like a millimeter smaller because I don't know, it's like a pissing match or something. It's so ridiculous.
That's what it is. It's just to be able to say we have the thinnest phone.
Yeah, we did it. We have the thinnest phone. It's just nobody ever cares. So
yeah, because I don't think maybe they did, but I don't recall them ever talking about the thickness during the event. And it's like, did anyone after the event would be like, hey, what about how thick is it? You didn't talk about that. No one cares.
And that's kind of my thing about reason why I like the S7 so much is because I think it's a little bit smaller than the iPhone. I mean, about as tall, but the screen is bigger than the iPhone's. The phone is almost exactly the exact same size as the iPhone 6s. So it's a nice compact phone, but insanely powerful, and you don't see that nowadays, and it's great.
It is like really compact for sure.
Yeah, it's funny because I posted like a video on Instagram, or whatever, of me playing with the phone, and people kept commenting about like, why does it look so tiny in your hands? Like the phone looks like a little mini phone or something, but it's just a regular sized phone, guys. Everyone's used to these giant phablets. I love it. I think the S7 is great, but I still have to wait till mine gets here.
Yeah. I'll talk about it a little bit later, actually, so I won't spoil that. But let's move on to the other Samsung. Oh, do you want to say anything about the Edge?
It's got the curved edges. Well, it's like
it's the same size as the S6 Edge Plus, right? It's like a phablet version, kind of.
Yes. It's a slightly larger version of this S7, but with curved edges. So, yeah, that's it.
It's a little bit more exciting because of that edge, but I mean, it's really not.
I really thought, and this is last year, because when they did the whole S7 and then S7 Edge, I thought the S6 Edge, I thought for this year they would have done curved displays on all of them. Like they would all just be the curved display one, because in all of Samsung's marketing materials and all their commercials, they're always talking about. They always show the Edge because it just looks more exciting.
Yeah. Here, I threw up a phone size comparison.
There you go.
iPhone 6s, Galaxy S7, LG G5. It's a really nice size.
Yeah, and keep in mind that even on the S7, you don't have the virtual nav button, so you do get more screen real estate. Whereas the G5, I mean, you have that bezel, and then you also have the nav bar, so you're getting like so much display. But then they kind of shift it up, so there's, I don't know.
I just wish Samsung would put the buttons in the opposite order that they are.
It takes some getting used to, but once you get used to it, it becomes muscle memory, and it's not that big a deal.
Okay, let's talk about the thing I'm actually really excited about: the Gear 360 camera. I'm actually excited about this.
What? Are you kidding me?
I actually saw some like earlier this week. Do you guys know who Casey Neistat is?
Yeah.
He did a 360 video with the Gear 360, like a pre-production model.
Did he do it at the Oscars? Was that the Oscar
Yeah,
one?
he was at the Oscars. And, it doesn't look as good as, the people that have those
20
GoPros like, rigs and stuff. But for a device a little bit bigger than a golf ball, it actually looked really cool.
It's a lot bigger than a golf ball. It's about the size of...
I saw it in his hands, and, like, he did put it in his pocket and stuff. So it is possible.
What? And not only that, okay, this is another thing, because it's a ball, so you have to attach it to this little included tripod. So you'll be carrying around a tripod, you'll be carrying around some...
Yeah, but the tripod's like this
ball.
big. It's basically the size of the LG one.
I don't want to carry that. I don't even want to carry, like, a USB cable in my pocket. Like, I'm not going to be carrying around all this stuff. It's just silly.
Yeah. Well, I think it's cool. I don't know. There's something really cool to me about, like, just being able to go anywhere and take like a 360-degree photo, a 360-degree video, whatever, and then after the fact, we're all going to have these VR headsets soon, and you can just like kind of relive those moments so much easier.
Yes, I agree, and that's why I love the LG 360 cam, is because it's you put it in your little shirt pocket. I can put it in my little cardigan pocket. Look at that little tiny cardigan pocket. I could slip it right in there. And it'll work great. Not only that, you could put it in your pocket, and it would be recording outwards.
All these motions Chris is doing. Like, if you're an audio listener, you need to watch this episode.
Really?
It's just so much better.
I saw you guys. You did a demo of the 360, and like it connects to your phone wirelessly, and then you could like pan around and see everything that the ball can see, I guess. Did you guys like try anything out like that with the G5 one? Like, what is the software on the phone like?
Yes, we did, and I thought we did a video on that. Maybe
you may have. I didn't. I mean, there were so many videos going out.
Gosh, dang it! Yeah, we took pictures, and I think I'm not sure. We may have not even uploaded it, but yeah, they did have the like similar software where you can view it in real time, and you can use your phone and just like hold it up and take a picture using your phone or record video and stuff. And I think we even got like a sample photo from that. I have it somewhere on one of my phones, and the photos look great. Looks awesome.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with you that the LG one is easier to pocket. It's just I saw some footage from both, and the Gear one looked a lot better. So.
Yeah, I think in the end, I would sacrifice quality just to be able to, for comfort, and I think that makes a really huge difference in like what you actually take around with you on like a day-to-day basis. And if you're going on trips and stuff, and you don't want to pack a big old tennis ball with cameras all over it. I don't know.
Tennis ball's not that big, man.
That's just me.
Yeah. Well, we all don't wear saran wrap pants, so.
Try putting that tennis ball in your shirt pocket, and you got this big old one big boobie hanging out. Looks weird.
All right. So I think we've well covered Samsung and LG. There were other people there, surprisingly.
There was.
Because you probably didn't hear a lot about them. So yeah, Chris, tell us about some of the other stuff you saw.
There was the Xiaomi Mi 5, which was pretty darn awesome. I think it's like $400, and it offers almost the exact same specs, if not more than like a Galaxy S7 or something. It looks gorgeous. I doubt we'll ever see it in the U.S., and it really sucks because the phone was awesome. It was built well. It was super light. It felt in build quality, it felt like a cross between like the S7 and like an LG phone, and it was awesome. 128 gigabytes of storage, which is just freaking nuts. Internal storage. I don't have to mess around with that micro SD stuff. Who needs it? And the pricing was just insane. But that was cool. I was more excited about the new Sony Xperia X line, which they showed off. They have completely gotten rid of the Z series, so no more Xperia Z4, Z anything. They just said, screw it, we're starting back at whatever. We're going
like
X.
a letter even really matters.
Yeah, honestly, they could have just called it the Z, but yeah, no, it's the X line, and it's awesome because they're all the same size. They just all feature kind of different internals and different hardware features and stuff. But 1080p displays like all around, and they look freaking amazing. Awesome Sony displays, and the 1080p, and the most powerful one is the X Performance. There was the Sony Xperia XA, X, and the X Performance. And the X Performance has a Snapdragon 820 processor. Now just imagine an 820 processor with a 1080p display and an amazing camera, and the batteries are pretty big. I think the battery was like 3,000 milliamps plus. That's freaking awesome. I think I'm gonna buy it. I think I'm actually gonna pay money and buy that thing when it comes out.
Wow. Yeah, because they said that they're going to be like trying it in the U.S. a lot harder.
Yes, right? Yes, they are. Which is great because it's small, it's nice and compact, it's not too big. The screen's 5 inches. It sounds like my dream phone. It sounds like it. And since I guess they're not making a Sony Xperia Z4 compact or Z5 compact or whatever, this is the next best thing. And I'm so hyped. And Sony software is freaking awesome. Their UI looks great. They have this awesome battery saver mode, which is phenomenal. Super hyped and excited for these phones to come out in the US. Awesome.
Cool. Anything else of notice? Chris's phone keeps going off. He's a very popular person. I'm just trying to think because I was kind of covering news while MWC was going on. There really wasn't that much other stuff. I mean, Samsung and LG dominated it.
Yeah, and that was pretty busy as well. And then there was no HTC. They were kind of just doing the Vive thing this year. HTC announced, or they showed off the X9 or AX, A9, X9,
Some
X9.
Combination of letters and numbers, yeah.
Yeah. Which was like a bigger A9, but like horribly underpowered. It was using like a MediaTek processor, and it ran like crap, and it's just not very good at all. And then there was a bunch of crazy like Chinese phones. Like there was some like Rob did a hands-on with the Gioni. S8. They beat Samsung.
It has like a Force Touch or a 3D touch
display. Yeah, the build quality was surprisingly really well. But which is weird because all these phones they all look very similar. They all have these awesome like 2.5D glass, and I swear it's like all these manufacturers are just buying these phones and putting their name on it. Like there's some factory in Foxconn where they just keep churning out like slight variations of these phones, and people just put their name on it. But it would look great. You know, we'll never see it here. But I mean, there was a lot of other like weird Chinese phones and stuff. The Alcatel announced the new 4S, Alcatel 4S, Idol 4S, which was pretty amazing. Not as affordable as last year's Alcatel Idol 3. It's got some pretty impressive specs on it, but with that comes a jack up in price. I think it's going to be like $470 or closer to like $500, and that's kind of not the reason why people buy Alcatel phones.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how well that one will do. Probably want to wait for a price drop, but if they can get that to like around $350, $300, I think that's going to be a great phone. And I don't know. I guess that was kind of it for MWC.
All right, let's move on. We do have a couple non-MWC things that have been going on. You mentioned the M10 was not there. That's coming up soon, and HTC has started. They're like really hyping it up. HTC says the M10's camera experience will be, quote, very, very compelling. HTC says they're obsessed with making the One M10 the best phone ever. So
we are obsessed.
Yeah, they're trying to hype it up hard, I'm sure, because of all the Samsung and LG hype going on right now.
This is gonna backfire on them really, really bad though if it doesn't like measure up to the hype. So they need to be careful with this.
Yeah,
be careful what you
say. Don't be OnePlus.
Don't pull a OnePlus. But it's just sad because I mean there's a Reddit thread right now that I was just reading about how HTC was doing all these things right. I mean they pioneered the front-facing speakers. They were the first ones that were doing bigger pixels on the camera instead of higher resolution. They did all these awesome things, aluminum unibody, and it's just like they just could never. I don't know. For some reason they just couldn't get. They just didn't have the marketing dollars really to push it. Whereas like the S7, I mean. They had the S7 at the Oscars. They had it's just no matter where you go, you'll see advertisements for the S7. Like Samsung is making sure this phone will be a success, and they can do that by just pushing more and more, ads and stuff.
Yeah,
HTC can't do that. They had a little Twitter video, which just showed an office building. That was kind of it. So they just can't do it. I'm
still trying to be excited because HTC, when they put all their effort into something, they can put out really awesome phones. So I just hope that they still are capable because it's been a little while since we've seen.
How many years ago was that though? Like
I mean, the M8 I would say was a good phone. So
the
it
M8
really
was the
been
best
that long.
Of its time to me. It was the best phone, better than the S5.
Yeah, Chris loved it. So they've really only. I mean, it's been like one generation of phones since they've had a good phone.
They can do it, but I don't know. I mean, what is it right now other than just have a phone with a good design, have a good camera? I mean, front-facing speakers. I'm trying to think of how you would beat the S7 at this point.
Right. That's the sad thing is like, what do you do to make people take notice of it?
Yeah. Unless, I mean, I don't know. I mean, people are brainstorming, doing all these things. 3D Touch, I think, is the latest rumor. They're going to have a 3D Touch display. Which is kind of a gimmick. I don't think anyone really cares about that. Yeah, there's really not too much else you can really do with a phone. Just put a giant battery in it, maybe? Big old honking battery?
Yeah, make the first phone that lasts a week. I think people would probably take note of that.
There you go.
The phone would probably look hideous, but...
Or like a Yoda phone type thing. I mean, throw an e-ink display on the back of it. I don't know what else you could...
We'll see.
They're obsessed.
All right, the other big thing going around right now is Android N speculation. There have been some leaked screenshots and also just flat-out rumors. But it seems like they might be redesigning quite a bit of stuff in Android, like basic Android things that have been the same for a long time. Number one is removing the app drawer. How do you guys feel about that?
No, I don't like that at all.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Like I use Nova Launcher, and I even hide apps that I never use inside Nova because I don't like a cluttered app drawer. So
right. Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
My first reaction was the same as Ashley's, like, no, what, are you insane?
Mm-hmm.
But the more I think about it, I'm like, okay, the people who are really upset by that already use third-party launchers.
Yeah.
So the people who are really going to be affected by it are people who don't know about that type of stuff. And maybe for them, it is easier to not have an app drawer.
Better user experience to them.
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
It's a more cluttered experience to me. Like I look at people's iPhones and I'm like, oh my god, that looks so cluttered.
Look at my iPhone. I got like a trillion. My whole stupid. It's just a ton.
Yes,
of apps.
that looks cluttered to me. Do you want to see mine?
You can't even like really organize it because it pushes everything to the top, so it makes
you can't organize it.
Super.
This is what my screen looks like.
Oh my gosh.
You have more icons on your screen than I do, Ashley.
Yeah, I mean, I have a weather widget up here, 3 rows of icons, and then my drawer.
Oh, that looks nice. I like that.
I think they could do it in a little bit better way than Apple. Like, just allow there to be blank spots for one.
Yeah.
Because on the iPhone, you can't even put a blank spot anywhere. Yeah, there has to be an app.
That makes life really hard. Yeah.
what was I reading? I was reading something, or maybe it was a video, but they were talking about how if you look at a lot of people's phones who aren't like tech savvy like us, one thing you'll see is they might have the same app on different pages because like they forget that they are in the app drawer, and so like one time they'll put it on the home screen and then they'll like forget that it's on a home screen or something, and then they'll do it again. Like people are not using the Android home screen in a very efficient way.
Properly.
My dad does that. He has Facebook on every page of his phone.
Exactly.
Yes, look at your parents' phones. It's fun. Like my dad, his drives me crazy because it doesn't even have like even the bottom row, like where you just have your dock. Like he only has like 2 icons in the dock, and I'm like, why don't you put something else in the dock, like balance it out, and it'll just have like some random like Hangouts up here in the top corner, and it's just like something else over here, and I'm like, driving me crazy. Like just flatten it or just make it symmetrical or it's. My mom's is the same way too, and I don't know. She loves it though. Every time I try to move, I'm like, Mom, why don't you just move these into a little folder? She's like, No. What are you doing? Why are you moving my apps around? And she like freaks out. But I think it might be better for those, the moms and dads out there, just to have everything out there. And there's a lot of launchers that do. Like if you look at all these, like the LG G5, people were freaking out because that one had they got rid of the app drawer in the LG G5 stock launcher. People were all upset about it.
You can turn it back on.
Yes, there's an option to like put a little shortcut there.
Actually, Samsung's has the same option too.
Yeah, so you see these. It's already kind of happening. There's plenty of Chinese phones. MIUI like started doing it a long time ago to kind of mimic the iPhone, but yeah, they don't push them all to the top like the iPhone does. You can still organize them and move them around however you like. So I think it could be done okay. And again, like if you don't like it, everyone uses Nova Launcher anyway, or Apex or whatever.
All right. The other thing is the settings menu might get a hamburger icon, so like everything will be organized in a slide-out drawer, like you see in a lot of apps. I think that would make a lot of sense and probably make it easier to navigate the settings.
That would be very cool. And a dark theme. They should offer some sort of dark theme.
Yes,
screenshots were in a dark theme.
Dark theme would be awesome. And then there was the notification shade is getting a redesign to where it looks like donut. They're going way back. It's like a throwback.
Yeah, like the notifications go edge to edge, and they don't look like cards anymore. There's like no space in between them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a matter of time because Android goes through different. Like eventually they're gonna have to redesign everything. And you always see like the slow evolution of that with every Android release. So we've had material design since Lollipop. Now we have Marshmallow. I think we'll probably see material design go through maybe Android N, but like after that, I think we're gonna see something completely different, or at least like drastically different.
I don't think we'll see any as big changes as material design was. I think Android was like long overdue for a design facelift.
Remember Holo? I didn't think anything would look better than Holo.
Yeah.
Holo.
I was going to say, like, which of Android's iterations has been your favorite, like design-wise?
Definitely the way it is now.
I liked Holo a lot. I liked the blackness. I liked just having, just the text or whatever, or Kit Kat and all that. That was my favorite. The
darkness was really nice for sure.
Yeah.
I miss that about Material.
And I liked Holo a lot because it kind of reminded me of like Windows Phone UI a little bit. It kind of seemed like a blend of like Metro UI and Android, and I liked where they were going with it. I was really upset to see them kind of go this very simple, bright, kind of like a kiddie look to Material, which I didn't really care for.
I love material design. I
thought the way you do too, Chris. When I originally got the phone or the Nexus 6P, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but it's actually grown on me quite a bit. Like I don't miss Holo at all.
It just needs more dark themes.
It does.
And I just wish more people implemented it or did it. No one seems to know how to do Material. I feel like even the apps that do Material now, they kind of forget the whole animation aspect, which to me, like the best use of Material design with all the cool animations and everything, which is probably my favorite part about Material, is the Google Play Store and then the Google Clock app. The Google Clock app is awesome. I mean, you click stuff and it's like whoop, and then you swipe things away and they're like whoop, and then you got all the awesome animations and things are shifting and shapes are growing and like it's awesome. That's like the best thing. And there's some apps that try to do that and with the whole animations and stuff, and it looks broken. They're slow and it just never ever looks right. No one is really doing it really that well, I don't think. And it sucks. I'm kind of ready to move on from Material.
Well, it does look like they're just kind of evolving it, so
yeah,
that's fine with me. Just kind of.
I mean, getting rid of the
evolving.
cards, the card UI, that was like a Material staple. And then to get rid of that in the notifications, it's kind of like, what are they doing? What are you doing, Google? What you got planned here?
Do we have any predictions on name for Android N?
I'm calling it Nutella. Every time I see it in my head, I call it Android Nutella, but I don't know what it would. I think there was a rumor that it's going to be like a Japanese seaweed.
No, he's just like trolling. There's this one, Lockheimer is his last name. He's trolling. Like, he's had tweets before where he mentioned other N-related desserts. So he's just like, he's kind of throwing a bunch of stuff out there just to troll.
And
people.
I mean, there was Dave Burke when he was on the stage for I/O last year. He had like the milkshake on his Android watch, and he said later, like, I was just trolling people.
No, it was worse than that. It was a watch face that literally cycled through M-related desserts. It was like milkshake.
The picture that everyone was freaking out about was the Verge's picture because people zoomed in and they saw the milkshake and were like, "Oh my God, it's confirmed!" But then what you didn't realize was like he's like, "No, man, like look, I got a bunch of them," and like you could like scroll through all the different M names.
That was pretty funny.
Just N, there's like not too much stuff you can do with.
Some people have said nougat.
But like, what's this? A nougat looks like a piece of poop if you just try to.
Yeah, what would it be?
yeah.
Actually, that'd be pretty funny. Just do the poop emoji as the statue with two antennas sticking out.
Nougat after the fact.
Android nougat. Yeah, I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't remember what I was guessing for Android M. Oh, milkshake was my guess for M.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I wanted it to be.
I'm still disappointed with Marshmallow, the little character they had holding a marshmallow. I mean, whatever.
Lame.
We talked about that a lot.
Speaking of Marshmallow, Samsung is like really slowly rolling out Marshmallow to their not that old devices. Like, I have the S6 Edge Plus, and I still don't have Marshmallow. I don't think the Note 5 has Marshmallow yet.
I feel like the more successful a phone is, and like the more they're out there and they're on different carriers and this and that, the longer it takes for Samsung to update these devices. So they start doing the ones like some of these smaller phones that maybe didn't sell so well, and all these other ones, they'll update those to Marshmallow and kind of test it and see what's going on. And then when they feel confident enough, because like if you screw up an update, I mean, and you do it for a flagship like the S6, you're going to be screwing over a lot of people. And that's a lot of people that are going to be really, really upset. So they kind of have to take their time with it. So I give them that. To me, like when you're selling as many phones as Samsung is, yes, updates take a little more time, but at least you're guaranteed those updates. Samsung is like they have a good track record with at least updating previous flagships to like the newer versions of Android. So at least you have the guarantee, and you can find peace and solace in that. But they just take a little time. They just take a little more time. If you're Samsung, all the TouchWiz features too. They gotta
factor long enough, man.
But it feels like it's forever. And then if you want to put your tinfoil hat on, I mean, maybe they were waiting for the S7 to come out and debut with Marshmallow before updating the S6.
Maybe, you think? I want to believe. Yeah. So. All right. Without further ado, let's move on. Just go pretty quickly through our wins and fails and app picks so we can get to these emails. My win is going to be Pebble Time Steel.
I hate you.
You got it.
I win and I got it. Yeah, and this is without a doubt the best smartwatch I've used. I got the silver one.
Oh, okay.
And I got a blue NATO band. I'm loving it.
I was holding out for the
silver.
It looks so nice.
Yeah, it does.
And
I'm actually impressed by it.
It's so Nice. I love it. I can't even tell you guys how much I love this. So when I got it, it was charged at 100% already, and it lasted 8 days,
What?
which is like better than
Dear
my
God.
original. Yeah.
That is insane.
It was crazy, and it does a lot more than I actually thought it could do. Like, I did not realize you can do voice replies to a lot of apps. Like, you can do voice replies to Facebook Messenger, kind of like you can on Android Wear,
That's awesome.
and texting you can do. And so I was not expecting how much voice integration they actually have, which is really nice because it brings it a little bit closer to what Android Wear can do. And like the animations are really cool. I didn't have that on my Time Steel, or my original Steel, I should say. But I've been loving it. I've been wearing it every single day. It's a lot more comfortable than the original Steel that I had, because like the glass is slightly curved, so it just feels really nice. Yeah, A++.
I'm putting my Huawei watch on Craigslist today. I'm gonna trade somebody for the Steel. Oh, and the Pebble Time Steels and all, they all dropped like $50, or Pebble Time Round and Pebble Time.
I think
I'm not sure about the Steel.
yeah, the round one and the regular Time one did drop.
Plastic,
yeah.
which I don't like. The plastic one has a big old plastic bezel. It's kind of
that one. Yeah, I was holding out for a long time trying to find a good deal on the silver one, because I didn't like the black one as much either. But yeah, I'm loving it. Also, the Pebble Health that they have now, which is like sleep and step tracking, is really cool. I don't use the sleep tracking, but the step tracking is actually pretty nice. It integrates with Google Fit and all that. So yes, very happy with my purchase. So my fail, it's not really a fail, kind of just a minor annoyance, but I am pretty interested in getting the Galaxy S7, I think, but I'm going to wait and see how the LG G5 gets reviewed. But I definitely want to get one of those two phones, because I'm sick of using these giant phablets. But anyway, so I went to AT&T's site, just like looking at information and pre-ordering, and I forgot how nice it is to just be able to like pay $200 for a phone.
And get a phone. Mm-hmm.
Which is funny, because a long time ago on Fandroid I wrote an editorial about why contracts need to die, and I still do stand by that. I think it is better in the long run to pay full price, or to do like these monthly plans like AT&T has, where you pay like, I don't know, $23 a month or something for the S7. But I'm just looking at, because I mean, this is kind of a luxury that I have. I haven't had to buy a phone in a really long time, because we get all these review phones. And so this was like the first time I'd actually looked at buying a phone since like the Lumia 925. So,
oh my God, that was so long ago.
I know, and so I was really like surprised by how different it is, and like you can't just pay $200 and get a phone. You have to like pay monthly and do all this stuff.
You pony up some major cash.
Yeah. All of that is why I abandoned AT&T and went with Cricket.
It is cheaper in the long run, I'll say, though. Like, if you do, I did the math, because the one price that I saw, it was $23 a month for 30 months, and if you do the math on that, it is actually cheaper than if you would buy it full price at like the up front. Mm-hmm. So it is a little cheaper, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to pay every month for a phone. I already paying every month for the data. I don't know if I want to pay every month just to have the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chris, what do you got?
My win for the week is going to be the Black Galaxy S7. Samsung hasn't made a black flagship in a very long time. It's probably since the S2, arguably since the S2. Like the S3 and S4, eventually, like months later, they kind of had like a blacked out edition that they, like, but it was like usually carrier exclusive or only available overseas or this and that. But every single freaking Samsung phone since the S3 has been blue or some variation of blue, and I hate blue. I hate any color of blue, and navy blue is probably the worst. And
I love navy blue.
And the fact that they made a black of, like, it's actually black this time. I think that was a huge win. I was so impressed by it. I think probably just because of the dang color. Maybe
It
I was
actually does
blinded.
look really nice, and you wrote an article about it, and it is actually really weird that they had such a long string of navy blue as their main color.
I didn't
Like, I
realize how
love
long.
navy blue, but I just think it's weird that they made that their main color.
Yes, it's an odd. Like I don't mind it as like a secondary option or something, but just to have that as their only color was very weird. With that being said, one of my fails for the week, one of them is going to be that there is no white option in the U.S. I think that was an incredibly odd move and a terrible oversight, or I don't know what. Like the white was, you always have to have a black and a white. I just don't get why you wouldn't do that, but they do have a silver and they have a gold, and you get the black, so you get those options, but just no white in the U.S., which is very very odd. My other fail, which was really, really kind of a big deal, and a lot of people are freaking out about it, is that the Galaxy S7 micro SD, the Galaxy 7 doesn't support adoptable storage with the micro SD card. So it was one of the big features with Marshmallow that if you put in a micro SD card, you can tell the OS to make that SD card your internal storage. So every app, every game, that will become your internal storage. So you could potentially expand your internal storage up to however big your SD card is. And that was like again one of the big features of Marshmallow. But with the S7 and even LG's doing this with the G5, they said that they're not going to do it. They're not going to support that feature. And it's kind of rubbing people the wrong way because the only option that you get for the S7 in the US is a 32 gigabyte internal storage. Like 9 gig or 8 gigabytes, which is already being taken up by the system OS and those apps, and then you have like I guess pre-installed apps that come too, and it's just you get a lot less than even the 32, and then after formatting it and all that stuff, so kind of sucks, and it's kind of a big deal. And the Galaxy S7 isn't all roses and all that stuff. There are some bad things about it, and I think that's kind of the major problem with it. So yeah, that's my fails for the week.
Ashley does not have a win and fail this week, which is actually a good thing because we need to.
Because we're pressed for time.
So we'll just go right to the app picks. Mine is actually a game. I think in our last video or our last podcast we were talking about the adding gamer tags or whatever to Google Play Games.
Oh, I got Gamer Core. I got it.
Okay, good job. But so I was trying to like bring that up, so I went and just like randomly downloaded a game that had Google Play integration, and it was this game called iTrousers, and I got hooked into it. It's actually really fun. It's just this game, and it's like a mechanical pair of pants, and every time you tap the leg, leg moves, but like you control like certain movements, like you control the angle of the heel and like how much lift the knee has and like the thigh and so you tweak all these little things to get over obstacles. It's a really fun game, and like what you try to do is just get as far as you can, like walk as far as you can, and jump over stuff and all this sort of thing. But did not expect it to actually be a fun game. But iTrousers, go play it.
Cool.
Wish list.
Chris, what do you got?
It looks like Quap. It reminds me of like that game.
It is a
Quap.
little bit like Quap, but not
Weird.
not so much crazy.
My app pick's going to be Hands Free. It's a new Google application that just came out. They're testing it in South Bay, San Francisco, not South Bay, Los Angeles, which I was really upset to find out about. I was so excited when they said South Bay, and I forgot. Yeah, there's one up north too. But it's basically like kind of like it's Android Pay or Google Wallet, whatever. You can make purchases in select locations simply by doing absolutely nothing. You just say, I would like to pay with Google. And then the lady looks at your face, makes sure it matches up with the face that appears on her terminal, and that's it. And she charges you, just like that. You don't have to take out a phone. You don't have to pull out a credit card. You don't have to do anything. That's it. It's just so incredibly simple, awesome. It uses Bluetooth Low Energy to like I guess authenticate you with the cash register and stuff.
You're gonna get hacked so hard.
I was gonna say that's crazy. Do you know people, like those people that do YouTube videos of makeup and stuff to look like celebrities? You can have people going in and buying your stuff.
I am Drake. Yeah. But you would have to steal Drake's phone, and you would have to
yeah.
make yourself look like Drake, which people can do, apparently. But it sounds freaking awesome. I think this is like the next step past just tap your phone to pay. Now you just have to have your phone on you. You got to tap nothing. You just walk there and say, I would like to pay with Google.
Accidentally walk past the cashier and buy something. No, I wasn't trying to buy this. Sorry.
Buy 30 things. No, it's great. It's going to be awesome, I think, once it rolls out in more places.
You're going to be way more nervous to use that than Android Pay.
The future. And then it also has to do. There's cameras too. Like part of the whole integration with like different merchants and stores is there's like a camera somewhere that will identify your face as well. But Google says they delete these promptly after they take a picture of you, so you don't have to worry about NSA snooping or whatever. I don't know.
Putting my paranoid cap on.
Yeah. So hands free. It's on the Google Play Store if you're in South Bay, San Francisco. Try it out.
All right, Ashley.
I'm forever looking for new Reddit clients. I use Relay. It's pretty reliable, but I'm not extremely happy with it. So I've been looking around, and there's a new app called Boost for Reddit, and it has some of the same features as Relay, but it's a little bit more smooth. And I don't know, if you're looking for a Reddit app, try it. Joe, cool. I know you're always looking for Reddit apps.
I was for a while, and then I decided to settle down with Reddit Sync. Went ahead and bought the ad-free version of it. So
I've been really happy with Relay. Like the more I use Relay, the more I just like that's the only way I actually want to browse Reddit now. I hate even going to like the website and stuff, but I'm always down to try a new one, and I'm down.
Boost is a lot like Relay. It has a lot of the same swipe gestures, which is why I like Relay so much.
My favorite thing about Relay is being able to tap a preview, and it doesn't have to load a web page. It just automatically opens the image, and then it gives you the option to download a GIF or video file. And
that's like every Reddit app ever does that.
Yeah, a lot of the ones I've seen, you click it, and then it like takes you to like a little web page of Imgur or something, and then you have to do it through like their little integrated browser and stuff.
Yeah, one of the things I don't like about Relay is it doesn't really have good support for Imgur galleries. So if people are like, if you browse our DIY where people post a lot of projects, you can't read the notes that they posted along with the pictures, but Boost actually lets you do that.
Yeah, that is the
problems you guys are listing off. Reddit Sync.
Reddit Sync. Stop it. I don't think that's. I'll try Reddit Sync too.
It does do that. Exactly what Ashley was saying. You can click to see the little descriptions, and it loads the images. It doesn't load up the web page. It's good. Anyway, all right. So I mentioned we had a lot of emails and tweets to get to, so let's get to those, and hopefully we can answer some of these. So this is an email from Beast. He says, so I'm amped about the S7, mainly because it's rumored... What?
He's beast mode. It is activated for the S7.
Don't interrupt me ever again. Just kidding. So I'm amped about the S7, mainly because it's rumored to bring back the SD card, and if so, I have a 128 gigabyte card waiting for it. However, I've heard something about not being able to remove hot swap SD cards with 6.0 because of the way Marshmallow handles SD cards. Can you shed some light on this? Will we use hot swapability? Good word you made up there. Because it may create havoc with the system memory. Thanks, and keep up the awesome work on what you're doing. Chris, talk about this.
Yeah, you can't hot swap, bro. That's. I mean, I think. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, I think we got the same question a lot recently.
You can't. Well, I just talked about it now, but you can't. They don't even feature adoptable storage now, so you don't even have to have that problem. You can still swap out the SD card, because now you can't even adopt the storage as internal storage now. So it's not even an issue, but it's probably not going to work the way he wants it to because you can't even use it for adoptable storage. So it sucks. But Samsung and LG have chosen that path, probably because of the exact same problem or situation that he's describing, is because they don't want people trying to take out their SD card and effing up their entire phone and blaming their phone and the manufacturer for this little feature. Because once you use adoptable storage and you yank out your SD card, I mean, your whole phone will just explode. So it's not good.
Our next email is from Tony S., and this is an app pick of the week that he wanted to suggest. The app is called Shruggy but it's like it's not actually spelled out shruggy. It's that shruggy emoji or emoticon, I guess, that you can type out. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like with the
Oh.
hands like this.
Yeah.
That's what the app. That's the title of the app. But he says, I've been using it since Christmas. After I installed it, I opened my keyboard and noticed a new soft key next to the space bar. I pressed it, and my keyboard changed to a large shruggy. I pressed him, and he went into the text field. Then I pressed the circle next to the space bar, and my keypad came back up. So it's like a way to easily be able to type in that shruggy because it's a pain in the butt to type out with whatever keyboard app you want to use.
So it's which version is? There's a lot of like these weird shruggy things.
It's made by Code Butler.
Ah, okay, I'm gonna install. It's almost got a perfect 5-star rating. Holy crap!
It's like a green icon if you guys are looking for this in this store. It has like a green icon and it's made by Code Butler. But
I don't understand. I'm gonna have to try it because I still don't get it. Is it a keyboard replacement? It's a different type of keyboard.
It works with any keyboard that you use, but I guess it puts like a soft key over the or next to the space bar.
So it makes you think that you're changing the language to something, but the language is just that's the language, the shruggy guy, and then you switch to that language, and it's just one button for him, and then you put. Okay, that's cool. That's awesome. Holy crap, this is great.
All right, next question. This is from Ryan Connor. He says, not Daquan Johnson, but still a good question. All right, so his question is, my wife has the original Moto X on Verizon, and it's been slow. The LTE signal goes in and out. Sometimes the phone just doesn't work, restarts, doesn't want to make calls and texts, etc. I was wondering if you could recommend a phone for her to get. She has a couple of conditions, needs to work on Verizon for now, probably switching to AT&T or T-Mobile when her contract is up in May. Has to be smaller, yada, 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 and the camera and battery life have to be good. So I guess Verizon phones that are not giant and have decent battery life and cameras.
Honestly, if you're switching to AT&T in May, just wait.
Yeah.
Don't buy a Verizon phone right now.
Right. You're not going to be able to use a Verizon phone on AT&T or T-Mobile.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, I would say. I mean, that sucks that her phone's wigging out, but I mean, it's only like a good couple months away, and it's. I can't in good conscience recommend a phone and be like, yeah, spend $400.
He was thinking of the Nexus 5X since it can work on all the cellular networks. Is that true?
Yes. That's a good option, and it's smallish, and it's comparable.
It does work on Verizon and AT&T?
Yeah, it works on every carrier, so you just pop in your SIM and you're good to go.
Okay.
So
yeah, that would be a good idea then. So I guess he's asking, do you think the Nexus 5X is good enough?
I think it would be
better than the
adequate.
Moto G. What she's replacing, it's better.
Yeah, no, she had the Moto X.
The Moto X.
The original Moto X, which was like a dual core.
It's still better than the original.
Yeah. And it's. I mean, I would say it's about the same build quality. They're both plastic, and the camera's better, so you got that. Battery life will be about the same.
I have the Nexus 5X. Yeah, I can say battery life is not great. The camera is decent. So that's probably a good option.
Yeah. Just make sure you turn HDR plus on, no matter what, always.
All right, last email question is from Drex C. He says, I sent this in as a tip for news, but I came across the site randomly and figured it might be a good topic for conversation. Since I'm new to GSM and finally left Sprint after 16 years, wow, I've been keeping an eye out on phones that have all the LTE radios. I purchased a Chinese Mate 8, and he's been awesome on T-Mobile. Oh, and shout out to Chris for sharing insight on T-Mobile service in LA. Totally helped me in my decision that the T-Mobile cell spot, which solidified my network due to giving me strong 4G signal instead of partial no signal. He links to this site called frequencycheck.com, and he says that he's already checked a few phones just to see how good it works, but it's pretty comprehensive in breaking down all the necessary radios and whether or not a phone has the ones needed to work on a carrier. So that's a cool suggestion. People a lot of times see like Chinese phones and they want to know if it's going to work on AT&T and T-Mobile. That is a good site that you could go to and see if it'll work for your carrier. So thanks for that suggestion.
That's awesome. Right now I have like a list that I kind of made of like all the frequency bands for T-Mobile, all the frequency bands for AT&T and stuff, and it's just it's hard because then you see these Chinese phones and you're trying to match up, and then after a while all these numbers become a blur. But this is great. This is an awesome site.
And just a couple kind of random tweets that we got this week from Space Cat Guy. He noticed that review highlights, like where it shows a few reviews as like a highlight in the Play Store. He noticed that they only show positive reviews in that section, and if you tap into see like all the reviews, you'll see a lot more negative.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Kind of an interesting thing that they're just like highlighting positive things. It's weird.
That is odd. Yeah, you would think if you like thumbed up, can you still thumb? Yeah, you can thumb up and thumb down post. You would think, or
They should do like what Amazon does, where they have like the most helpful positive review, the most helpful negative review.
yes, exactly, just like that.
Another thing that he mentioned that he noticed is so we recommended the Focus app, I think, on the last podcast, which is a gallery. And he says that it requires internet access. Google hides it in other permissions, I guess, so keep that in mind if you're using the app. I don't know, if you're kind of paranoid about that type of thing. It is weird, though, like, why would a gallery need internet access? But
yeah,
Pictures does not. Like, I check that when I install pictures, so.
I'm guessing because, I don't know, there's probably some logical explanation for it, something that it needs.
Yeah. And then his last tweet, he says that Chrome for Android, he'd be tolerant of it changing the top bar color if it left the text background black, white, or readable. And I'm actually not sure what he's talking about with this, because when I go and like pull up Facebook in Google Chrome and it changes the bar color to blue, it changes all the text to white so that you can still read like the status bar and URL and all that stuff. It's still perfectly readable. So
maybe, wait, what phone did he say what phone he has?
no.
Maybe it's like a specific version of the phone he has that it's doing the text all weird like that. Like the Huawei, like the Mate 8, where it's just like they use black text for everything and makes it unreadable.
It seems like it would be controlled by Chrome, though.
Yeah, that's true. It's odd.
All right, so thanks everybody for the emails and tweets. Hopefully we'll get more next week. Our new email address is podcast@fandroid.com, in case you forgot. But I think that's going to wrap things up for this week. We had a lot to talk about, so good job. We got through it in about an hour. Not bad.
In a timely fashion.
So you can subscribe to the audio version of the podcast on TuneIn Radio, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, and pretty much in any app that you want. And you can follow the show on Twitter @MobileRoarcast. You can follow us. Chris is at GamerCore, Ashley is at Overlord Roar, and I am at Tall Schmo. And we will see you guys next week. Later.
Bye.